Blessings. It is week number 4, January 2024. And so we begin as the book of Genesis begins. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light was good. And so he separated it from the darkness. And God called the light day and the darkness night. And it was good. It was good. It was good. Well, that brings us to today's theme, feeling good. What does that mean? What does that look like? Especially when Emma Curtis Hopkins says, "My good is my God," or "My God is my good." They are synonymous, one and the same. So when I say, "Are you feeling good today?" might I be asking, "Are you feeling God today?" Or, put another way, are you feeling yourself? Do you feel like yourself? How many times have you seen the Snickers commercials? I love the one where Betty White is playing football and she gets tackled and the guy, gives her a Snickers and says, "You're not yourself when you're hungry." Snickers satisfies. Anyway, are you feeling yourself? How many times do we step outside of ourselves when we are angry, when we are upset? We're not behaving as ourselves. We're behaving as the 5-year-old whom mom, dad, and the 3rd grade teacher told us that we were going to be a failure, or whatever it is. When we step outside of ourselves, our true selves, and we step into the facade of whatever that is, which we sometimes do for self-preservation, there is nothing wrong with it. When we are able to now understand, where is it coming from? Why is it showing up? And how do I continue to navigate so that less and less do I need the mask? More and more I show you my authentic self, my true and powerful self, in more and more ways and more spaces. So that when I am feeling good, I'm feeling God, because God is the truth of all that I am. And in that, what I am showing, what I am feeling, what I am being is myself. So how are you today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling God? Are you feeling the truest aspects of yourself? If so, yes, keep it going to the best of your ability and bring that energy, that contagious, vibrant energy to the rest of the world. And if by some chance we are not feeling that, at least not in the moment, simply be present and identify, then what do I feel? I feel angry. Got you. What is causing the anger? What is at the root of that? I was triggered by. Let's explore that. Let's go all the way down the rabbit hole and find what is causing that energy, and then be present with it. There is no need to jump into the immediate energy of old new thought that says we are not supposed to be sad. We are not supposed to be angry. We are supposed to feel good. We are supposed to be happy all of the time. No, we are humans. We are the divine expressing and individualizing and incarnating itself in this form. If these emotions were not supposed to be, we would not have them. I don't have wings because I'm not supposed to have them. That's for the doves and the pigeons and the eagles. They are supposed to have wings, not me. These emotions are ours, but the question is, how are we stewarding the emotions? So often we just let the emotions run rampant. We just let them go because we don't know how to steward them. Just like many people who win the Mega Million and the Powerball, they don't know how to steward being a millionaire, and so they rush through the money, and many of them end up in greater debt after having been a millionaire than they were before. So the question is, how are we stewarding our emotions, whatever they are, anger, grief, sadness, confusion, etc.? How are we stewarding our feelings, our moods? So don't just, how are you feeling? What does that feeling mean? How is it informing the way that we show up? Because if we're not, if we're not going to really do the work, then having, a CSL vision, mission, purpose, having any vision, mission, purpose, what is the point? Dr. Holmes says, religious science is a religion of joy, free from fear. Pause. When you had Reverend Ray remix. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is not bad, nor should fear be eliminated, because he says free from fear. I want to clarify. There is life-affirming fear. It's what gives you the energy to swerve the car when you see a deer, to get out of the burning building. Fear, because fear produces adrenaline. Adrenaline gives you the, ooh, and I gotta go. Life-affirming fear is protective of life. Non-life affirming fear is what saps our energy and drains us, because usually this is made up of thoughts about that we prolong. See, the deer isn't moving in slow motion in front of the car, which means I'm swerving the car really slowly. It's fast. It's drive, 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 deer, swerve. And then the deer is gone and the car is stopped. And now I gotta get it out, gotta get it out. It came and went. That's the life-affirming fear. Usually comes and goes, except when it becomes a chronic thing. And usually when it becomes a chronic thing, it shifts from being life-affirming to the non-life-affirming, because now PTSD has set in, and now I'm hypervigilant, and now all of the other things are showing up. Because now I'm, well, what if? And now I'm using my faith to channel it into this, because now I'm, but what if I lose all my money? What if I end up bankrupt? What if my diagnosis of prostate cancer last year? What if we could what if anything? Like I could what if right now and sit here and say, well, what if a plane crashes on this house? Well, that could be. Non-life affirming fear keeps us stuck in the energy of the what if, the terror, the dread, the worry, the anxiety. So when Dr. Holmes says religious science is a religion of joy, free from non-life affirming fear, I can go there. Moving us through the process of reducing and eliminating non-life affirming fear, while understanding what life affirming fear, life affirming faith gives us the capacity to do. So anyhow, he goes on to say, religious science is a religion of joy, free from fear. It is a religion of faith, life affirming faith, justified by results, the effects, the experiences. So our life experiences are the evidence of our life-affirming faith and the way in which our mental equivalents, all four pillars, our thoughts, our words, all of the ways we communicate, thoughts, beliefs, paradigms, all that stuff, emotions and feelings, and our actions, all four pillars of our mental equivalents, and it's always plural because I can have a mental equivalent about health and well-being. I can have a mental equivalent about race and equity. I can have a mental equivalent about everything. So plural. So the evidence of our faith, our mental equivalents, etc., shows up in our experiences. So on any given day, to what degree are we feeling joy? As I mentioned, when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer last year, was it possible for me to feel joy in the moment? In the moment, no. And yet, joy was present. It's almost like the spice rack that I have upstairs in the kitchen. At any given moment, I can go get cinnamon or nutmeg, or you notice I'm going for the desserty kind of things, or vanilla extract, etc. At any given moment, I can go to, they're there. I don't need them right now, but they're there. I have access to them. So in this moment, maybe what I'm accessing is the curry, the sage, the pepper. That's what I'm accessing right now, maybe, whatever it is. But I have access to the other things. So when the doctor says, yes, it is in fact prostate cancer, my immediate go-to is, okay, so what do we do? What's next? What are my options? What are we going to do? And then after being with and processing all of that, then it's now I have the capacity to feel whatever this is and bring joy back into the mix because it was already there. So now both and I can feel upset and still have access to joy. So at any given moment, how aware are we of what we are feeling? How aware are we of the feelings and the emotions of those closest to us? See, oftentimes we will say to folks, how are you feeling? I'm pretty good. Yeah, I can't complain. Nothing to complain about, or whatever we say. Well, nothing to complain about isn't a feeling. And I asked you how you're feeling, first of all. So answer the question, please. How aware are we of the emotions and feelings and moods of those closest to us, including the feelings that are not comfortable? The depression, the grief, the sadness, the anger, and the frustration. Are we able to be in a space where we give them permission to tell the truth? How are you feeling today? I feel sad. And oftentimes, what we'll say, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Why am I sorry to hear that? Why is that the response? Ray, oh, I heard about your mom. She died on Father's Day, 2020, right? Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss. Why are you sorry? Why do we express those words in that way? What is it that we are really communicating? Let's step deeper into what we feel, all of it, and create the spaces and the containers to really be with all of it. So whenever whatever we're talking about, the CSL mission, which is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Spiritual tools such as emotional intelligence. Spiritual tools such as, how do I personally, me, having been someone who has experienced trauma, how do I become more trauma informed as a person who has experienced trauma, to be aware of what it means, because then that changes how I now interact with others who may also be, who also are, because we may be. So many of us are traumatized and we don't even realize we're experiencing and have been experiencing trauma. But when I know, it's like when I learn how to make, what did we say? What did we talk about last week? Sourdough bread. When I learn how to make it and am aware of the ingredients, oh, hey, Clarissa, that's sourdough bread, isn't it? You gonna taste it? Oh, you used that flour from Italy, didn't you? The one from like it's the southern part of, right? That because I can taste it, because I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with the ingredients in my own life to such a degree that I can now taste it, smell it, feel it when I see it elsewhere. Are we willing to step into a space and truly offer spiritual tools for personal and global transformation that really get to the root of, like we said last week, a new life? Well, we can't get to a new life if we're not willing to get to the foundation of, to refortify or shift or completely get rid of the foundation and create a new one. And one way to know what's going on at the foundation, what am I feeling? What are you feeling? What are we feeling in relationship? There's a song from Sesame Street. Who are the people in your neighborhood? They're in your neighborhood. They're in your neighborhood. Say, who are the people in your neighborhood? They're the people that you meet each day. Do you know the people in your neighborhood? And not literally just those who live to the right, the left, the front, and the back of where you live, but your neighbor as who sits beside you on Sunday when you're live and in person. Do you know them? Do they feel safe in your presence? What do they feel when they are around us? And how do we create the container? Now, pause, because I'm not saying that everyone should feel all the time, right? Like some people, when in the presence of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they were like, oh man, this man gonna light us up again because Reverend King gonna say something, or Representative John Lewis is going to, because you know he liked getting into good trouble. They're going to, yes, they are. Because if we're not doing what we are called to do, then we need someone to call us out, call us in, so that they can then call on us. But we are not going to get to that space by avoiding the feelings. So let's get into the full expanse of, from the joy to the junk. And by junk, I don't necessarily, because I'm not judging it, I'm just referring to the junk and the yuck and the stuff we don't like. That's what I'm referring to. Because no one wakes up in the morning and says, oh man, what's on the calendar today? Let's see. Go to the gym by 1 o'clock. Ooh, I get to worry and be immersed in anxiety again today. Ooh, I love Mondays. No one wakes up and sets that on their calendar that by 1 a.m. or by 1 p.m. I'm going to. We surf and we move and we flow through those. And when we're in it, we're like, ooh, I don't like how this feels. That's why I refer to it as the junk. I just want to clarify. So from this to that and all in between, are we willing to get involved in it? I mentioned the surfer. The surfer has to be willing to fall off the board in order to surf. The singer, the vocalist, has to be willing to hit a wrong note, quote unquote, hit an off note in order to sing. The dancer, an off step to mess up the choreography. The painter, an off brush. There's something that's going to, it's not always going to be spectacular, first go round, wax on, wax off. And then eventually we're like, oh, I know karate. But it starts with wax on, wax off, or wax on, wax off. I don't remember which one. You understand the point. So this week's invitation, feel it. Feel all of it. Feel good by feeling all of God. Feel your amazingness even when you don't feel amazing. Feel your power even when you feel powerless. Feel your beauty even when you don't feel beautiful. Give yourself the space to say, I know the truth of my being, and this is what I feel, and this is what I feel. I know this, or I'm willing to know this, and I feel. And in the feeling, I navigate, I surf, I steward until I am once again in alignment with my good is my God is my good, and what I am speaking about is the truth of my being, because what is true about God is true about me. I affirm it, I declare it, and I live, move, and have my beingness from that space. Breathe. And so we begin February in a week. Are you ready? February. Okay, I'm done. Much love and appreciation. See you soon. Feel good. Take care.